Recently, I challenged over 2,000 creators to build a game in Fortnite, and what's more, they only had 72 hours to do it. I hosted a Fortnite Creative Game Jam in 2024. In case you are unaware, a game jam is basically a game-making marathon where a bunch of developers all come up with mini-games or prototypes or demos or concepts for a game within a short time period. Fortnite is, of course, known for its gunplay. As such, most of the games designed in its creative mode follow this formula. However, I wanted to challenge people to really think outside of the box and try either new genres or do something really ambitious with the traditional gunplay and mechanics of Fortnite, or even build new games entirely within the engine. So I set out a pretty simple theme for our debut jam: Unreal. You can make anything you want, the creative control is truly in your hands, and it only has to be ambitious. Creative mode has a wide variety of devices, and the Unreal editor for Fortnite has an absolutely massive toolset to utilize, but many creators don't touch 99% of it. So one of the core aims for this jam was to force people to make things they wouldn't normally consider making. The grand prize, apart from appearing in this very video, is $1,500 to my favorite game from the jam. This was graciously funded in part by Team Gearsy and my good pal Krutzy, so I'd like to take a moment to thank them both for the contributions. So, I've boiled down all of the submissions into 9 of my absolute favorite entries. What will Fortnite creators come up with when they have 72 hours to make something truly creative? Let's find out. Dungeon Survival is a top-down, dungeon-crawling zombie shooter that's hard as nails, but really satisfying. Inspired by twin-stick shooters, the levels are randomly generated and your character follows a custom in-game cursor. There's a day and night cycle, so there's downtime between fights, and there's real strategy as you have to keep track of your ammo, reload, and not get swarmed. This game has real potential, I think. With some balance changes and some loot progression in random chests or loot drops on kills, this demo could turn into a really incredible game. Mascot's Hide and Seek is a voxel-based hide and seek minigame, which grants it a unique and rather striking visual style, but does cause problems for when you're trying to, well, hide. It uses Fortnite's custom visual effects programming well, attaching these huge voxel characters to the player's hand to create a custom player model. I like that you can customize your character as well. Mecha Wars sees the humble town of Greasy Grove taken over by a giant mecha dragon thing. This game is a really great proof of concept for a high-stakes boss fight experience, and I think that if it was a little more fleshed out, it could be a really great final level for a full game. The Arena is a really cool little player versus player combat experience that uses random number generation to select from a huge variety of map pieces, creating a different experience every time you play, which I really enjoy. The creator claims that there are over 230 potential map combinations, and they're all super fun to play on as you bounce around, find weapon pickups, and blast down your opponents. Blast Off is a new take on the rather underutilized payload genre. It's set on the moon, utilizing custom assets to create an immersive and fresh environment. This one has a lot of potential. Slurp and Turf is a really cute little beat-em-up featuring everyone's favorite goop monster, Goobo. There are custom animations and cutscenes, a custom player model that's a little goofy, but in an endearing way, and it's a really solid foundation for a unique feeling PvE game. On a similar note, Tuber Trials is a PvE wave fighter where you play as a massive instrument monster. It even falls apart when you die, like Lego bricks, which is really cute, and I personally appreciated it, especially as I seem to die quite a lot. I have observed that replacing the character model with a unique one is a theme that I've seen consistently throughout these jam submissions, and I think that totally rules. It's an especially important feature for making Fortnite not feel so much like Fortnite. Sonic Speedrunners is an ultra-fast platformer demo that really emulates the feel of a boost-era Sonic the Hedgehog game. The way the camera shifts from 3D to 2D in different segments is really cool, and the level design as a whole reminds me a lot of Sonic Forces. Speedrunners could be the blueprint for a really authentic fan game. I was especially impressed that this jam was made in just 16 hours as the creator had just gotten out of surgery. Now that's a potentially unhealthy level of dedication that I both respect and fear. Nightborn is a really interesting one. It's Dark Souls inspired, both in the general stylistic decisions, but also in the fact that it's bloody hard. Absolutely everything you see is custom, from the environment being a dark, grungy sewer system, to the completely unique attacks, animations, and user interface. Once you've fought your way through the sewers, you can activate a sequence to the next area. This progression was what really captivated me with this entry. It brings you to a boss area. You can chill by the campfire to regain your health, and then take on this hard-hitting boss that I couldn't even beat. In the end, we chose Nightborn as our absolute favourite jam to give the prize money to, but I hope all of you submitting had a wonderful time, including those of you who didn't make the top spots in this video. Game jams are all about learning, practicing, trying new ideas, working with others, and most importantly, creating. Not just about winning the awards and getting kudos. So I hope that every single person who made a game here got something out of it. I learned a lot about game jams and what can be made in Fortnite during this event, and I've also taken in a good amount of feedback too, so if I end up doing this again in 2025, it can be even better. Thank you all for your submissions, thank you for tuning in, and stay creative.